Hello there, how you all doing? I know it's not very usual for me to make so many videos all clustered together. And as much as you're not used to it, I'm not used to it either. You kind of sort of feel like you're going to run out of things to talk about. Even though, if anyone who knows me really will know that I've always got something to talk about. Usually I do anyway. For the past, I'd say 6 months, 7 months, I've been feeling very, very low. Not really myself. And for the past couple of years, I'll put it down to it being Christmas and second Christmas, you know what I mean, without my brother after his suicide. And then I feel a bit better until end of January, which is when Mike, my friend, died. He was one of my mentors. And then it'd get towards July and I'd start feeling a bit even lower again in June, like 11th of June, because that's when Jake hung himself. And then leading up to 26th of July, it's his birthday, and then November it's when Terry, my other mentor, died in 2021. And now my granddad that died in June as well. I've been harbouring a lot of loss, and in fairness, I don't think I've been dealing with grief very well. I'd kind of, with Jake, my brother, I've said this before, but if you didn't know, my brother was schizophrenic, very, very, extremely schizophrenic. He suffered with it for over 20 years. He had a complete breakdown in 1998, and he was never the same since. He ended up having to be sectioned. It was that bad. I had to ring up the ambulance for him to come get him, because it was inconsolable. He just couldn't cope with it, and he was breaking down further and further and further, and it was the toughest decision I've ever made. One of. Anyway, it got to the point about a month or two before he hung himself that the medication they were giving him, they were already strong anyway, really strong, and they'd stopped working, they stopped being effective. And after he went back to the doctors and they said they were going to up his dosage, they said that he'd have to go for blood tests every week to make sure that he wasn't getting bleeds on the brain, because this medication at that higher dose was very prone to doing that, and there was a good chance it could end up killing him. And after that, he stopped taking them altogether. he was coping pretty well, even though he'd split up with his girlfriend, because obviously the voices had started getting to him, and it spun out at her, not intentionally, but it scared her, I think, and they were on a break, and they were occasionally, you know, having the odd date, and it was like it was quite cute, really. It's like when they first met again. And then when he hung himself, and we found out, the only thing I could think was, he's free. He's free from all the torment. I mean, a week before we'd had a long, like 6, 7, 8 hour chat, just going over everything about our life, about our childhood, about all the things we'd done, you know what I mean? We were just airing out everything that was necessary. I think more for him than it was for me. And even though it got a bit heated here and there, by the end of it, we're far closer, I think. But he was telling me about, I mean, he's told me about this countless times before. The reason why my music channel and the name that I use for my music, TMSSP, that stands for Two Men Standing Still Productions. And that's because that was what, the way Jake explained it to me, that was what I envisioned in my head, that it was two men standing still in the same spot. So TMSSP was born. And he kind of reiterated the same sort of thing to me again, that normally, I mean, sometimes they're really funny. He said you can have a laugh with them, you just make him giggle, but a lot of the time they're kind of terrifying, aggressive, hostile. And like I said, after he took his life, I do still understand that he couldn't see any other way forward, any other way out of it. And so he just decided to end it, end his suffering. And he did, he freed himself. Now, I thought that was, I was coping with that pretty well, but obviously I'd suppressed my grief, really. And it got to the point around end of May, June, no, in fact April, end of April and May, where I just started getting right as what. If you've been talking to me online, that's Kat, my Mrs. Fisher, typing it out for me. Last time I had a really bad episode of PTSD, it completely just shut off my capacity to write. I can't even fill out a form. As soon as I try and type anything or write anything down, my head goes blank and I can't do anything. It's crippling. For a writer, it's like losing a limb. Yeah? It's awful. It's been causing a lot of problems. And it's all because of this grief. All the grief that I've just not really dealt with in a very good way. Like most men, I bury things, yeah? I tap it down. I rarely let it out. I'm quite stoic and hard-faced wanker, as my missus calls me sometimes. But you just fucking cry. Get it over with. It's also been affecting my sleep. I've not been able to sleep either. I've been having days where I'm just not sleeping at all. 2-3 days awake before my body just tells me, just fucking don't sleep, you idiot. And knocks me out, like automatic shut off. Then I'll sleep for a few hours and boom, back awake again. It's been driving Mr. Fisher insane, really is. She'll wake up in the middle of the night to go to the loo when I'm sat there awake looking at my phone. Learning stuff, obviously, it's productive. Watching other people's YouTube videos and reading. But I miss not being able to write. And this is partly why my book's not out yet. It's going to be delayed, unfortunately, and the same with my my lineage map. Until I can get this sorted out, which I'm starting grief therapy sometime next month. To try and deal with it. So why am I making this video and telling you all this? Well, one, because people have been asking me what's going on, why is my book not out yet? Also, this is another thing, my publisher, the guy who published my book, was sacked from his from the publishing house that he set up. There's a partner with another guy, and he's bought him out basically, like via the back door through the board, and has had to delete my book from their website and from their publishers. So at the moment, I'm a bit stuck. It's now been delisted off Amazon, obviously, because there's no publisher for it. I've still got all the rights, though, to it. They didn't manage to get them from me. He managed to wangle it just before they took my book out of print to basically ensure that I can keep all the rights. Idiots. It's doing really well. It's selling really well for them. So yeah, I am now publisherless at the moment. I'm back to square one with it. I mean, the amount of trouble I've had with that book, Jesus. A bit depressing just going through it, but I've had publishers interested in it, and then the minute I've had it just going to print, like a couple of weeks off, and then they've pulled out. The higher ups in that publishing house, I'm not going to mention which one, I don't want to get sued. You know what they're like. Has ended up turning around and saying you can't print that. Not unless he alters this and this. I won't do that. The stuff in that book, right, in that first book, in fact the whole series will have stuff in it that is very very problematic for the higher ups here and there. Yeah, some good stuff in it. But each book has, from cover to cover, clues about what's going to happen throughout the whole series. Foreshadowing everywhere, and especially that first one. But to get it published with my friend, because they were a new company and everything else, and they couldn't afford the printing costs to print Prologue in its entirety, I had to cut it down, but I did it as a favour to him more than anything else. So this next book has the bits that I couldn't put into Prologue, and I had to cut out and still have it make sense. But anyone who's got a copy of it at the minute, you're sitting on a potential gold mine there. Because that's the first edition, that's now out of print. If it turns out that I can't get it through a publisher again, I'm gonna have to find other means for it. Maybe print it myself. Anyway, so yeah, when I found that out, that depressed me as well. So it's been great, it has, yeah. So whilst I've got chronic writer's block from PTSD again, they take my book out of print. Where to stick the knife in, you fucking wankers? It's almost as if the world is telling me, in no small part, perhaps the story you're going to tell, although it's true in a lot of respects, perhaps you shouldn't say it just yet. And for all those feeling the same way as me, get some therapy. Let it all out. I'll see you later.
yeah, yeah.